It's actually got Methical is here. Good morning to the great Methical. We've got a rousing chat room for you, and Stephen Hart. I hope you're hanging in there. That's right. Good morning to Tito Luna. Okay. I'm going to guess on guess one. I'm going to guess it's Tim Keogh. Now, Tim, if I'm right, put your name in that chat room. Give me credit for it. That's the truth. I think it's Tim Keogh is guest one. Am I right, Tim? Put it in there, boy. That's why they call me I could be wrong. I really don't know. But I think it's Tim Keogh. See, I care about you guys. Now, let's talk a little bit in depth about Dickerson. And then we'll go over the prospects. I'm not even going to go over the betting line on Miami because you just don't do it. Dickerson could hit about 285, 290, 15 to 20 home runs. Forget the stolen bases; those are incidental. But he hit 300 last year, second consecutive season, right? So when he was with Colorado, people said, well, outside of Colorado, he's nothing. But now he's hit 300 in as many seasons away from Colorado as he has hit when he was with Colorado. It's all about injuries. But this guy could be a real sleeper. I think Miami's going to be a better team. He only played just 78 games last year, if I'm not mistaken. It was something around that. So, look, he had trouble with left-handed pitching early in his career. He seems to have overcome that. So, and Miami, don't forget, they announced they're moving in center field and center field fences. So Dickerson has the skills to be a player. If you get him for a couple of dollars, he's liable to give you double-digit value for all those guys, okay? There you go. There you go. Oh, let's see. There you go. Thank you, Stephen Hart. Thanks, Stephen Hart. The Hart Foundation is here. So tell me, guess Joanna. I know George is guest Blanche, but guess Joanna? Wondering who you are. You can't be George, too, right? No, George is everywhere. And by the way, if you missed George's show last night, you can't do it. You got to listen to George on demand. You got to listen to Arnie, and you got to listen to Arnie coming up next, followed by the lovely and talented Kevin Hastings. And then tonight, we don't have George tonight. Okay, so we're missing you on Monday. How about Sunday and Monday, you knucklehead? That would be fantastic. All right, so that takes care of Dickerson. Let's go to who's going to play center field for the Marlins. To me, it looks like it's going to be, either Louis Brinson or John Berti. And Berti was the guy who led the Marlins in stolen bases last year. Berti actually led the Marlins in steals. He could also play some shortstop, okay? But he could play center field. Berti's going to steal you 25 bases, hit you 270, get you 7 home runs, okay? And he's eligible in a lot of position. Remember, he missed over 2 months with an oblique injury. But his defensive versatility is going to make him a nice player at age 29. He had a strikeout rate of 25%, had a terrible contact rate, but Berti, and he doesn't drive the ball. But for fantasy purposes, he has an elite sprint speed. He beat out 11 infield hits, stole 17 out of 20. You need stolen bases? This guy is tremendous for a National League only. He'll play a number of positions and steal you a lot of bases. Zelmo, Dr. Z, Ray K. Holy cow. We got a great chat room this morning. I love you all, and I thank you so much for being here. Okay? Louis Brinson. That's who Doug Boyle thinks is going to play center field, and he very well may. Berti's going to be the platoon player, no question. I mean, he's going to be a utility player, play all over the field. Brinson's 25. We've expected a lot from him. We didn't expect his 170 batting average last year. I don't know what to project for him, to tell you the truth. Okay, if he hits you, hits about 230, steals about 15 bases, and hits you about 15 home runs, you got a decent season out of Louis Brinson. But you got to hope for that. Okay, he was the expected jewel acquired in the Christian Yelich trade, but he needs to pick it up. He's going to be 28 years old. Okay, he began 2019 as the starting center fielder. Then he hit 190 something. Okay, and they sent him back to AAA. Remember that? Contact remains an issue. He's got tremendous sprint speed, 97th percentile, but he's got to put the ball in play. Okay? He's got a raw power. The scouts give him what they call 65. He's got all the tools. You take this guy in an only league, and you get him very cheap, but you don't know what you're getting. So, but he's got all that potential. Brian Anderson and Harold Ramirez and Magnarius Sierra. In Anderson, you're getting a nice player, but I got to tell you, not going to be a great fantasy player. But all these guys, because of the fact that he played third base and the whole deal, he'll hit you 15 to 20 home runs, steal you 7 to 10 bases. Brian Anderson's going to hit you about 270. So he's the type of player that would look much better in another ballpark. He's a guy that Miami lineup pitchers don't want to, the pitchers against Miami just don't want Brian Anderson to beat him. If he hit in a better lineup and a better ballpark, he could hit 30 home runs and drive in 90 runs. So if Brian Anderson gets traded to any team, pick him up. Ramirez was a blessing last year for a lot of people. Yep, he really was. Harold Ramirez at 26, actually 25, he's going to hit you 280, 15 homers, 6 to 10 stolen bases. He kind of stalled. He was going up the system in Pittsburgh and Toronto, and then they had no place to put him. So he signed a minor league deal with the Marlins prior to 2019, made his debut in May, and he had 31 good games at AAA. He fell apart in the month of July. Okay? A lot of ground balls. His power is just nothing great. But he profiles really as a fourth outfielder. So, don't get crazy with Harold Ramirez. At his best, he'll hit you 280, 10 to 12 home runs, 6 to 10 stolen bases. At his best, Harold Ramirez. The final outfielder in contention is going to be Magnarius Sierra. And I've liked him for a while only because I thought he had elite speed. Elite speed. But is he going to get a chance to play? He's 23 years old. One of the fastest players in base. 98th percentile with speed. But he can't get on base. Has no power. He doesn't have a good hit tool. He could run. He's only 24, so I would stay away from him this year. He just has to, get his, whatever his tools are, has to get them together. At catcher, I wouldn't mind taking Alfaro. Not at all. Alfaro could be a very interesting catcher. And I'll get to the pitching staff in just a minute. Alfaro's going to hit you 17 to 20 home runs. Hit you about 260. Okay? He didn't appear to be hurt by the tougher Miami ballpark. He had a similar batting average. I predict this year that he'll have last year. But his growth is in his second full season and or third full season, and his home runs increased from 10 to 18 last year. He's always been a high BABIP player. He makes a lot of hard contact. Not elite, but this is the guy that you want to get at a reduced price and he's going to get you 17 to 20 home runs and not kill you in batting average. So that's the offense for the Marlins. The pitching staff, a little bit more interesting. Alcantara, Sandy Alcantara. According to Craig Mish, he's going to be a star. According to Andy, she's not too sure. I'm projecting him for a 3.6, 1.2 in the high 1.2s, 150 strikeouts. He's improved. He improved a lot in the second half. Good springboard. His strikeout to walk percentage doubled after the break. I'm telling you, he's got a 96-mile-an-hour four-seamer. He's got to develop better secondary pitches, especially the off-speed. When I saw him in the Arizona Fall League, he was throwing over 100 and he couldn't spot the ball. When he let up a little bit, still threw 99, 98, he could put the ball where he wanted. This guy, Alcantara, will be as good as his pitching coach. Caleb Smith, we all know about Caleb Smith and his fantastic ability to strike out players. For Caleb Smith, I'm looking at a lot of strikeouts. Let's see, I'll probably say about 180 strikeouts. But his ERA won't help you. 4 something. WHIP will be 1.25. Not a help there. But he, look, he was a big fantasy surprise. He recorded a 1.0 WHIP and 88-21 walks to strikeouts before the All-Star game. Then he missed the season a month in June and got some hip inflammation. He's 28. His last couple of starts were not good. 6 ERA. He allowed like 15, 17 homers, 1.5 WHIP. Look for Caleb Smith in the spring. If he's pitching well in the spring, he could be a first-half player who could be dealt in the second half. That's Caleb Smith. If he sparkles, market him. Etch all this in your kitchen table. I'm telling you, if he sparkles, put him on the market. Next pitcher for the Marlins. They got Pablo Lopez and they got Jordan Yamamoto. So Pablo Lopez, sneaky pitcher. A lot of people don't know much about him. But Pablo Lopez could be a real interesting pitcher in a mixed league as well. He again, mid-4s ERA, 1.2 WHIPs, 116 strikeouts. He made his debut in 2018, and he was great in the Grapefruit League last spring. Earned a spot on the opening day roster, had a solid first half, then he had a shoulder strain, sidelined him for the next 2 months. But again, the Marlins pitchers really have to be looked at heavy in the spring. And finally, Yamamoto. Whoa, they got a lot of exciting pitchers here on the Marlins. A lot of exciting pitchers. Yamamoto is going to be, he'll be the 4th starter on this Marlins team. It's not a bad pitching staff. That's why I say the Marlins will not be doormats in the National League. Yamamoto, mid-4s ERA, 1.2, 135 strikeouts. He's 23. He rode that rookie roller coaster. He began with 14 consecutive scoreless innings, and then he cooled down a little bit in the spring. He could emerge as a very nice pitcher again. Okay? He's got a middle-of-the-road fastball. He's got a interesting sinker ball that he throws that at 6 different angles. Okay, he's got a great slider. This guy, he held opposing batters to a 109 batting average. He is going to be good. Okay? He's going to be good. 23-year-old Yamamoto has maybe as much potential as anybody. And then finally, for the Marlins, their closer, who's it going to be? It looks like it's going to be Jose Urena. And that's going to be only at the beginning. Drew Steckenrider's got the bad elbow. If Urena starts picking up saves, trade him. He's not going to hold the job for the whole year. As far as prospects go for the Marlins,